Hello again, everyone. This is the Evil Chocolate Cookie back with another lesson in the From Zero to Android Hero series. And it is finally time to have some fun. Now I'm going to show you first time setup. I do want to point out that I will be using a Samsung device for this tutorial. It's a Galaxy A50 running Android 11, which is the highest it will allow itself to go to. So your process will look different depending on what Android version you're using and also what phone you're using. But generally the steps will be pretty well the same. You'll have the exact same stuff to do. So with that in mind, I just erased this phone. So it's ready to start new. I'm going to see if it will let me turn on TalkBack now. For those who don't know, I do need TalkBack to access my stuff. So I'm going to do that by pressing and holding both volume keys, assuming the case will cooperate, and I will do that now. Unless my screen is locked. Well, I guess it isn't ready to talk to me just yet. So while we're waiting, I'm just going to kind of let you know what's going to happen. It's going to ask for things like your Wi-Fi. It's going to ask for your Google account. You'll have some basic settings to configure. And because I'm using TalkBack, it's going to take us through a few extra steps. I will not edit those out because on first time setup, if you're brand new, going through them is highly recommended. If you use TalkBack, if you don't, you won't see them. So you can just ignore that section. But I will go through them here for the benefit of those who do. I'm going to try again to get TalkBack up and running. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hang on, I can't see. Give me 1 minute while I... 1, 2, 3.
Press and hold both volume keys for 3 seconds to use TalkBack. TalkBack on. Welcome to TalkBack. Welcome to Talk.
I'm going to stop it for just a second, and I'm going to turn the accessibility volume up by holding down one finger on the screen and pressing my volume key.
Welcome to TalkBack. Page 1 of 5. TalkBack is a screen reader intended for situations or people who have difficulty seeing the screen. It gives you spoken feedback so that you can use your device without looking at the screen. You can turn TalkBack on or off by holding both volume keys for several seconds. When TalkBack is on, the focused item on the screen is spoken out loud. Swiping right will move to the next item. Accessibility volume set to 90%. Using next. Welcome to TalkBack.
Start that over because
Page
it got
1
interrupted.
of 5. TalkBack is a screen reader intended for situations or people who have difficulty seeing the screen. It gives you spoken feedback so that you can use your device without looking at the screen. You can turn TalkBack on or off by holding both volume keys for several seconds. When TalkBack is on, the focused item on the screen is spoken out loud. Swiping right will move to the next item, and swiping left will move to the previous item. Swipe right now to find the next button. Next button. Explore by touch. Page 2 of 5. You can focus on an item by dragging your finger across the screen. Try this now by touching the screen and dragging toward the bottom left corner until you find the next button. Next button. Scrolling. Page 3 of 5. You can scroll by swiping with 2 fingers. Try this now by swiping up with 2 fingers until you scroll to the bottom of the list items. Item 5. Item 6. Item 7. Next button. Up. System actions. Page 4 of 5. To open notifications, swipe down from the top of the screen with 2 fingers. Then you can close notifications by swiping back up with 2 fingers. Try it now. Next button. Menu and controls. Page 5 of 5. TalkBack menu, heading. The TalkBack menu includes settings and controls that you may need often. Open the TalkBack menu now by tapping the screen with 3 fingers. Reading controls, heading. These shortcuts can help you quickly change settings, like switching your navigation from characters to words or changing TalkBack's speech rate. To quickly change your reading controls, swipe left with 3 fingers or swipe right with 3 fingers. You can... Reading controls. These shortcuts can help you quickly change settings, like switching your navigation from characters to words or changing TalkBack's speech rate. To quickly change your reading controls, swipe left with 3 fingers or swipe right with 3 fingers. You can customize the TalkBack menu and your reading controls later in TalkBack settings.
We will get to those much later.
Next button. All set. You are ready to use TalkBack. Keep learning about other topics now, or review this info anytime in TalkBack settings.
For our purposes, we won't go through everything at this point in time. We will come back later when we go super in-depth with TalkBack, and we will go through every single tutorial it has.
Text editing, reading navigation, voice commands, practice gestures, finish button. Samsung Setup Wizard, welcome. English. Start. Emergency call, start, English.
You can change your language, but I don't need to do that because I'm using English, so I'm just going to click start.
Start. Insert a SIM card to connect to a mobile network. A few legal items to review. Not checked. Terms and conditions. Checkbox. Check. Checked. Terms and conditions. Details. Not checked. Privacy. Checked. Service. Updating.
It's asking me if I agree to the terms and conditions and the privacy policy that I have not read, and I do, even though I have not read them, because they're boring. Also, now it's safe to mention that if you ignored the TalkBack stuff, you can tune back in, if you fast-forwarded past that part.
Privacy policy. Details. Not checked. Sending of diagnostic data. Checkbox. Checked. Sending of details. Not checked. Information linking. Checkbox. Information. Detail. Not checked. I have read and agree to all of the. Checked. I have. Next button. A few legal items to review. Settings. Choose a Wi-Fi network.
Now it wants me to connect to Wi-Fi, and since this does involve passwords, I'm going to pause again until I get done. Okay, I'm at the done button, and I'm going to click it.
Keyboard hidden. Keyboard hidden.
While we're waiting for it to do its thing.
5 underbar 600 3005. IDEX 1 2 of 7.
Well,
TalkBack, page 1 of 5. TalkBack is a screen. Add network.
Alright,
System status, connecting to server.
Before I do anything else, and while it's chattering away, I do want to talk to you about a little issue I ran into.
Checking for additional language content 3 period.
I don't know if this is still a problem for people who use TalkBack on modern versions of Android with Samsung or not. I haven't ran into it with any other manufacturers. By default, this device would not speak the characters I was touching unless I had headphones in.
Screen off.
Even...
Screen off. Turn off Wi-Fi. Out of list. Add network. Win5. Next button.
Even
Double
with
tap to activate.
me just touching it and not trying to type it in, it would not speak it. It just said bullet, 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 bullet. And as I'm sure you're aware, I'm not psychic and therefore could not type like that. So I had to make a brief foray into TalkBack settings
to activate.
and tell it to go ahead and speak the passwords so I could put in my Wi-Fi password. Now we should be connected. I'm going to hit next.
Next button. Downloading Smart Switch. Getting your phone ready. This may take a few minutes.
Now we wait until it asks me for something else.
Getting your phone. This may take a few minutes.
I'm sorry if the audio kind of sucks. There's not really a whole huge lot I can do about it. But it's just easier to record from my phone because of the way the speaker on this device is oriented than it would be to
copy apps and data. You can choose to transfer your apps, photos, contacts, Google account, and more.
Alright, now it's on a screen asking us to copy apps and data. I'm not going to.
Don't copy button. Just a sec. Android setup. Just a sec. Account setup. Checking info. Heading. Google Play Services. Checking info. Heading. Sign in with your Google account. Learn more about using your account. Sign in. Sign in with your Google account. Learn more about using your account. Web view. Double tap.
Alright.
To long press.
So I'm going to pause again because it wants me to sign into my Google account and I need to keep that quiet.